Joining me today is New Hampshire State Senator Dan Feltes. Dan, we're talking about sort of the next legislative session, and I guess I should knock on wood here for you. I don't want to jinx you. You are running.
That's correct.
And I guess you have to be elected too.
Absolutely. It's every election. Get out there and work hard, and for every vote, it's been an honor to serve. And Erin has authorized, my wife has authorized me to do it again.
That's
notwithstanding the $100 a year salary.
She has a veto.
She does.
And that $100 a year, that's just one dinner probably. So what are your priorities for the next session, should you get elected? Or what would you like to say to the voters, right, in your district, for what your priorities are?
Well, like I said earlier segment, John, working together with Democrats and Republicans, we've made some progress in a number of areas, from consumer protection for veterans, helping with the heroin and opioid public health crisis, reauthorizing Medicaid expansion, flexible work for working families. But there's much more work to do to expand opportunity for everyone, not just those at the top, not just the wealthy and the well-connected few. We need to work on making childcare affordable. We need to work on full-day kindergarten. We need to reauthorize, again, Medicaid expansion. And we need to do some things, including job training or job training programs. We're pretty much at full employment, but some of our businesses need workers, and they need people trained up right away. And to meet that gap, we ought to do that. And I think it's important.
And I just interrupt?
Sure.
The issue there is we're at full employment, but we're not seeing in-migration demographically that we saw. And what's happening, even though we're at full employment, a number of counties, and at least in Merrimack, the northern part of Merrimack, they're aging faster. And so we may be at full employment, but if you look at the numbers, it's not all great news. It's not just being full employment.
Right, yeah, and if you talk to different economists, they say the same thing you just said, John. It may not be great news, in particular because of the absence of in-migration. But what we do have is businesses that want to grow and want to fill jobs, and they have specific niches that folks may not be trained up to do. And if we can bolster those job training programs, we help businesses, we help workers, we help our economy grow. That's an important thing. I think we've made some progress in affordable housing this last session, and we can make more progress on that. I think also that while we've taken some steps on flexible work, I think we could be a leader perhaps in paid family leave, so that working families, new mothers, new fathers, caretakers have an opportunity to spend some time with their new child or their aging parent or grandparent, helping them without suffering severe economic consequences.
Do you think in the next year we will also reauthorize the budget?
Correct.
Is that will that be a real challenge, or will we look for alternative revenue streams?
I think every budget is a challenge, John, and I think this budget will probably be a challenge too. I mean, I've been an advocate, as you know, to close tax loopholes that disproportionately benefit the wealthiest 1% at the expense of the middle class, at the expense of investments in healthcare, education, and infrastructure. There are different tax loopholes that we could close. There are different ideas every session about revenue enhancements, and I'm sure that those conversations will be ongoing, and they should. I think it's important for the democratic process to have that debate and that discussion. It happens in almost every budget. It did happen in the last budget discussions.
Every 2 years it'll happen again. That's one debate that we know will keep happening every 2 years.
Right, and so look, we'll look at the business. Everybody will look at the business taxes too. Everybody will look at where we're going. We did cut the business taxes in this last budget as part of a compromise, and I voted for that. And as we move forward, we got to see where revenues are coming in. It's all part of a big, complex picture. But at the end of the day, we need to fully fund health and human services. We have caseloads that are through the roof. We need to fund child and family services. It's a child safety issue. We need to fund our red listed bridges. We need to fix those. We need to fund education, and including full day kindergarten. We need to step up to the plate at the state level, because if we don't, John,
The
property
city
taxpayers
are gonna have to do
feel
it.
the burden. So if we don't make tough decisions and make the investments in the middle class at the state level, it goes right on the backs of property taxpayers.
Well, and we're going to look forward to having you on to talk about the election and the issues again next year.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
You got it.
And thank you for joining us on this edition of Capital Connections, your weekly access to politics and policy along the I-89 and I-91 corridors and how it impacts your life in our region. If you've got a comment or an idea for a future show, please email me. And more importantly, please join us at the same time next week for another edition of Capital Connections.